Morning, everyone. MLive's Brendan Quinn here alongside Kyle Austin for what is an interesting Saturday in the world of Michigan college basketball. Michigan and Michigan State, both in the Big Ten semifinals today. Michigan facing Purdue, Michigan State facing Maryland. One expected to be here, one did not. So a lot more on the line for Michigan than Michigan State in terms of just continuing the season. But Michigan State obviously came here with the goal of winning the championship, carrying that momentum into a 1 seed, and rocking and rolling right into the tournament. What have you seen from them? I guess last night, just taking care of business, if anything.
Yeah, I thought the first 20 minutes they were a little tentative. They looked like a team that hadn't played in a week, and they looked like, frankly, like a team that had been really looking forward to playing in the postseason for a month. They missed a lot of shots, a lot of open shots you're normally going to make, and we're only up 7. Pretty disappointed, but then that first 7 minutes of the second half, when they went from up 7 to up 20, they played just about flawlessly. They played like the team that we've seen them in the second half. They looked like the team that could go all the way to the national championship, frankly. So I thought that really set the tone for this postseason for them. Was a good thing for them going forward to kind of get that confidence and kind of get the jitters out a little bit.
The matchup today with Maryland, I kind of said coming into this, I thought that Maryland was one of the few teams I think just has the talent that could maybe beat Michigan. Michigan State. The two teams I looked at were maybe Maryland, based solely on talent. That when they put it together, they in theory are as good as anybody. It just rarely has happened. And then the other team was Indiana, just because it would have been on their home court. Indiana now out. So Maryland, what do you think of this?
I do think it is one of the tougher ones. I mean, you look at Maryland. To me, there's a team that perennially should be better than they are. But I keep waiting for them to look like the team I expected them to look like. And if they did, I think they could very well beat Michigan State here. And they did give Michigan State a pretty good game at the Breslin Center. But that's a team that lost 4 out of 6. They looked good yesterday against Nebraska, but the way both teams have been playing, I'd be surprised. I think Michigan State can shut down Mel Triple pretty well as they have before. I think they have the bodies in the front court. It's a tough size matchup for Michigan State. That could give them trouble, but I think they have the bodies if they play well enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, keys for Maryland will be not settling for jumpers, Melo getting the ball into the paint, and at least matching Michigan State on the glass, especially on the offensive end.
And then looking at Michigan, your team today, I mean, they don't expect to be here. I mean, how do you respond? I mean, you always ask after these huge emotional things. I mean, how do they kind of regroup and come back? And with a game that, I mean, they still need this game, too.
They do. They do. This is, I think this is the golden ticket game that gets them into the tournament field. It's the win over Indiana kept them very much in the conversation, but in terms of going into Selection Sunday without, being in a cold sweat for 12 hours tomorrow, this could do that. In terms of where they are mentally, yesterday was an emotional roller coaster, but the thing is that the way I look at the season, Michigan never really felt good about itself this year. Even when it did win some big games, the Maryland game, they still didn't know whether Karis LeVert was coming back. Maybe when you look at the last Purdue game when Karis finally got some minutes, his only minutes after his injury in December, even at that point, it was kind of a goofy game. They still didn't actually play well. Purdue definitely did not play well. So I think right now this is it. This is Michigan at its best emotionally, functionally. They played about as well as you could hope for yesterday. And the big thing was it was 40 minutes of defense. It was 40 minutes of responding to big plays by Indiana. They never folded, which has been the biggest problem that this team has had all year. So there's an opportunity here for them to do something pretty special. The program's only been to 2 Big Ten championship games since '98. They won the first one. They've never won it again. So, any other year, I feel like the big storyline for Michigan would be getting to play Michigan State in the championship game. Right. I don't think that's the case today. I don't think anyone's even thinking about Michigan State today. I think it's get this win, get in the field, and then whatever happens tomorrow, it's kind of play money at that point, house money.
I have to say, kind of watching Michigan on and off throughout this year, I was impressed with Jack Irvin yesterday. He seems like the guy that, they obviously have a void of a guy in Karis LeVert, and they didn't have that for a lot of the season. But watching the last 2 games, he seems like he's the most likely guy to kind of be that guy. I mean, I know Cam Chapman hit the shot, but he seems like he's the one kind of dictating this thing more than anyone.
If anyone can will them to a win at this point, it's Zach. He's averaging 18 points, 6.5 boards, 2 assists. He's defending opponents' best players. He's very much the heart and soul of this team, and he kind of really represents everything at the team. All the storylines match up with Zach Irvin's career at Michigan. Question, counted out, all this stuff, and kind of been resilient, and is getting some payoff. I think people are starting to look at Zach a little bit differently right now.
All right, well, that'll do it for us. Michigan tips off against Purdue at about 1 p.m., Michigan State versus Maryland at about 3:30, and we'll check in with you after that. Thanks a lot.